No maid lasted a day, until the single dad janitor walked in, no housekeeper. No nanny, no childcare expert lasted more than a day in Victoria Hale's mansion. Not because she didn't pay enough, she was paying $4,000 a week, but because 5 little girls who felt ignored by their brilliant, always working mother could destroy a $10 million house in under 30 minutes. The crystal vase shattered against the marble floor of the 2-story foyer, and Victoria didn't even flinch. Third one this week. She stood at the top of the staircase in an immaculate navy Armani suit, blonde hair pinned for a video call, phone at her ear. "I don't care what the board thinks, Gerald," she said calmly. "The merger happens on my terms or not at all." While she talked like a woman who owned half of San Francisco, her 5 daughters were rioting below. Sophie, sharp eyes like her mother, dark hair like her father, currently trying to help Emma and Olivia, 7-year-old twins, were climbing antique furniture. Charlie, 5, was zooming across the foyer in a motorized toy car. Lila, 4, all wild curls, was finger painting on the white walls with what Victoria very much hoped was chocolate pudding. At the same time, Nanny, younger 17, perfect hair, designer bag, broken spirit, and was trying to leave. "Ms. Hale, I cannot work under these conditions," the nanny said, voice trembling. "Those children are monsters?" Victoria supplied coolly, ending her call. "Yes, I'm aware. That's why I was paying you, was. No amount of money is worth this." The nanny nearly shrieked as Charlie's car almost clipped her ankles. "Your daughters need more than a nanny. They need—" "Thank you for your input," Victoria cut in. "Claire will have your final check ready in the morning." They saw. Front door slammed behind nanny number 17. Silence for about 3 seconds, then the house returned to its normal state of war. Victoria looked over her empire of chaos. 2 years ago, her ex-husband, Ryan Mitchell, had left her, run off with his 23-year-old assistant, and left Victoria with 5 daughters, a massive settlement, and 0 actual help. She'd built a tech company from nothing and turned it into a billion-dollar enterprise. But 5 little girls? They beat her every single day. "Sophie, get your sister down from that chandelier right now," she said without raising her voice. "Emma, if you break that table I will cry, and I don't cry." Sophie looked up, defiant. "Why should we? You're just gonna hire another babysitter who hates us anyway." That one landed deeper than Victoria wanted to admit. She checked her watch. 2:47 p.m. She had Tokyo investors on a video conference at 3:00 p.m. Her house looked like a daycare during a hurricane. "Everyone to your rooms," she said, switching to her boardroom voice, the one that made grown male executives apologize. "Now." 5 little faces looked at her with the same expression. "We don't believe you love us more than your laptop," I said now. They scattered, footsteps pounding up the stairs. Victoria exhaled, heels clicking as she crossed the foyer, stepping over crayons and broken toys. Her phone buzzed. It was Claire, her executive assistant. "Victoria, the emergency cleaning service is here. You said the house had to be presentable for tomorrow's investor dinner." "Right," she said. "Send them in." "And Claire, start calling agencies. I need nanny number 18 by Monday." "Ma'am, we've exhausted every premium agency in the state. They've actually started declining." Victoria's jaw tightened. "Then look out of state. I don't care if they have to relocate from Alaska. Find me someone who can handle 5 children." She hung up and shut herself in her home office, in the only room that stayed clean, and pulled up her presentation. Numbers made sense. Numbers behaved. Numbers didn't ask, "Mom, why don't you ever play with us?" Somewhere upstairs, something crashed, followed by giggles. She didn't look up. At 3 p.m. sharp, Victoria Hale transformed. Warm smile, confident tone, flawless hair. The Tokyo investors had no idea that 50 feet away, 5 little girls were running a small dictatorship. That's how Victoria survived. Perfect on the surface, chaos underneath, and a wall so high no one could see over it. The call lasted 40 minutes. When it ended, the house was suspiciously quiet. A quiet house with 5 kids is never good. Victoria opened her office door and stopped. In the center of her foyer, all 5 Hale girls were sitting quietly on the floor, not fighting, not climbing, listening, and the person holding their attention wasn't a professional nanny, wasn't a teacher, wasn't a therapist. It was a tall man in a Navy work uniform with Morales Cleaning Services embroidered on the chest. He was about 6'2", dark hair just starting to gray at the temples, warm brown eyes. He was mopping the floor while telling a story in a gentle voice with a light Hispanic accent. So the little dragon finally understood. Breathing fire isn't about being angry. It's about protecting the people you love. Lila, the hardest one, the wild 4-year-old nobody could control, was leaning against his leg, eyes wide. The twins were sitting cross-legged. Even Sophie, always angry, always in charge, had dropped her scowl. The man looked up, saw her and straightened. "Ms. Hale, I presume? I'm Daniel Morales. I'm here to handle the emergency cleaning you requested. Your daughters wanted to hear a story while I worked. I hope that's okay." Victoria's voice came out sharper than she intended. "And you thought it was appropriate to stop working and entertain them?" Something flickered across Daniel's eyes. Not offense, just a kind of tired understanding. "I didn't stop working, ma'am. I'm cleaning while I talk. Multiple tasks, same time." He gestured to the now spotless marble where the vase had shattered. "Your daughters aren't a distraction. They're just lonely." That word hung between them. Before she could react, a little voice piped up from the corner, a voice she hadn't even noticed. "Daddy does both." Victoria turned. A little girl about 6, dark eyes, bright smile, sat with a coloring book. "Daddy cleans and tells the best stories. That's why everybody likes him," Daniel said gently. "Bella, remember? Inside voices in someone else's home?" Bella nodded, grinning, and went back to coloring. But she looked at Victoria's girls like she already wanted to be their friend. For a reason she couldn't name, that twisted something in Victoria's chest. When was the last time my girls looked at someone like that? She thought. Like they felt safe? Victoria's tone softened a fraction. "It's been a difficult day, Mr. Morales. Please continue working." The story was, "Fine," he nodded. For half a second their eyes met, and she saw something dangerous. He wasn't impressed by the mansion. He wasn't afraid of her CEO energy. He looked at her like she was just another overwhelmed parent doing a bad job today. Pity she could handle. Understanding was worse. Behind the door of her office, she leaned back and listened. Her daughters laughed. When was the last time that happened without anyone crying right after? Victoria tried to work, but she kept needing to walk through the main floor, once to get water, once to adjust the thermostat, once to check the mail. Every time she passed, Daniel Morales was doing the impossible. The first floor was getting spotless, and 5 girls were entertained, gentle, and actually helping. He showed Charlie how to fold a napkin properly. "My mama taught me this," he said. "Hands steady." She said taking care of things shows respect for the people who will use them. "Did your mom teach you a lot?" one of the twins asked. "Oh yeah. She was the best housekeeper in Albuquerque. She passed 3 years ago. I use her lessons every day." "Our mom is always busy," Olivia said plainly. "She has important meetings." Daniel didn't miss a beat. "Then your mama must be really smart and really strong to run a big company." "That takes courage." From the kitchen doorway, Victoria felt her face heat. When was the last time someone had defended her to her own kids? "But she doesn't play with us," Sophie said, that angry 8-year-old edge in her voice. "She's always in her office." "Soph," Victoria started, stepping in, but Daniel lifted a gentle hand. "Can I tell you something Bella's mama used to say?" he asked, glancing at his daughter. "She used to say love isn't just one thing. Some people show love by playing. Some people show love by working hard so you have a good home and good food and good schools. Both kinds of love are real. They just feel different. But we want her to love us the playing way," Lila whispered, lip wobbling. That one hit Victoria like a punch. She gripped the doorframe so they wouldn't see her hands shake. Daniel's eyes met hers. No judgment, only a deep, sad knowing. "Sometimes grown-ups forget how to play," he said softly, speaking to the girls but clearly to Victoria too. "Sometimes they get scared and sad and work feels safer than feelings. But that doesn't mean they don't love you. Sometimes it means they love you so much it hurts and they don't know what to do with that hurt." "Did Bella's mom forget to play?" Charlie asked. Daniel's face clouded. "No, baby. Bella's mama got very sick. She didn't forget. She just ran out of time. That's why I play with Bella every single day now. I learned time is the most important thing we can give the people we love." Victoria escaped back to her office before anyone could see her eyes. Who was this man? This janitor who could see right through her armor? She pulled out her phone and broke her own rule. She looked him up during work, Morales Cleaning Services, small, professional, residential, and small commercial. Great reviews. Then she found a 3-year-old local article. Local nurse loses battle with cancer. Leaves behind husband and young daughter. Photo, a younger, devastated Daniel holding a tiny 3-year-old Bella at a funeral. His wife's name, Elena Morales. Age 31, nurse. Things clicked. He was a widower. Building a business. Raising his daughter alone. He knew loss. He knew how to sit with sad kids. He knew exactly what her girls needed because he'd had to do it the hard way. A knock came. Ms. Hale? Daniel's voice. I finished for today. I left my invoice with your assistant. If you want me to come back tomorrow to do upstairs, I can. Victoria opened the door, expression neutral again. Yes. Come back tomorrow. Same time, she swallowed, and thank you for being kind to my daughters. He studied her for a second like he could read every wall she'd built. They're good kids, Ms. Hale. They're just testing boundaries because they don't know where the boundaries are. Kids need structure, but they also need to know the structure comes from love, not just rules. I provide everything they need, Victoria said automatically, and even to her own ears it sounded hollow. I'm sure you do, he said gently. Sometimes what they need most is to know they're more important than everything else. Even if it's just 10 minutes a day. He called, Bella. His daughter ran in, backpack bouncing. All 5 Hale girls appeared too. And for the first time in months, Victoria saw something terrifying on their faces. Hope? Will you come back? Lila tugged his pant leg. If your mom wants me to, I'll be back tomorrow, he said. And maybe you can show me that drawing you were working on. They beamed. When the door closed behind him, 5 girls turned to her like a jury. He's nice, Sophie said simply. He doesn't yell. He doesn't cry. He doesn't leave. Can he come back? He's coming back tomorrow, Victoria said. He has more cleaning to do. Just cleaning? Emma asked, hopeful. Victoria thought of his words about time, about 10 minutes, about playing. Just cleaning, she said, watched their faces fall. Then blurted. But maybe, after dinner, we could watch a movie, all of us. Lila launched herself at her legs like a cannonball. Really? You'll watch with us, not work? Really? Victoria said, awkwardly patting her daughter's head. You can even pick the movie. They all hugged her. She looked in the hallway mirror over their heads and a powerful billionaire mother terrified of her own kids, and decided, if a widowed janitor could show up for his daughter every day while grieving, what was her excuse? That night they watched Frozen again. Her phone buzzed 17 times. She ignored all of it. When Lila fell asleep on her arm, the little girl mumbled, You smell like home today. Victoria tucked her in and for the first time in 2 years, cried like a mother instead of a CEO. At her desk later, she found Daniel's invoice. At the bottom, in neat handwriting, he'd added, Your girls talked about dragons today. The best dragons learn when to breathe fire and when to shelter others under their wings. DM. She stared at it for a long time. Then she texted Claire, Cancel my 9 a.m., cancel my 11 a.m., actually clear my whole morning. I have something more important. Day 2. I don't know how to just be with them. At 9 a.m. sharp, Daniel and Bella arrived expecting to be let in by staff. Instead, Victoria opened the door in jeans and a soft sweater, not her designer armor. She looked younger and nervous. Mr. Morales, Daniel, I cleared my morning. I don't just want the house clean. I want to know how you got them to listen. I don't know how to do that. He recognized that look. He'd worn it himself after Elena died. You weren't born knowing how to run a company, he said. You learned. This is the same. We start with being present. They walked into the kitchen where the 5 Hale girls were in their usual breakfast chaos. Formation. Sophie acting like a mini-mom, the twins arguing over the last waffle, Charlie spilling juice, Lila refusing to sit. My dragon crew, Daniel called. 5 heads whipped toward him. Instantly the room calmed. Remember how we protect what we love? This kitchen is part of your castle, so let's show your mom how we take care of it. Then he did a thing Victoria had never seen. He turned, cleaning into a team mission. Lila got to throw napkins away with Bella's help. Charlie wiped low cabinets, the Twins did opposite ends of the table. Sophie got the manager job, supervising and reporting to Daniel. He praised specifics. Charlie, I like how you got in the corners. That's attention to detail. When Emma spilled, he didn't snap. That's okay. My mom taught me a trick for spills. Watch, Victoria whispered. How do you not get angry? When they don't listen the first time? He kept wiping, voice low. For me, the rage wasn't about Bella. After Elena died, I was angry at everything. God, cancer, myself. Then Bella would do completely normal 3-year-old things and I'd feel like screaming. A counselor told me anger is usually fear wearing armor. I wasn't mad she spilled milk. I was terrified I couldn't do this alone. Victoria just stared at him. What was she terrified of? That she'd prove Ryan right when he said she didn't know how to love. That she'd lose her company if she slowed down. That her girls would see she had no idea what she was doing. Mama, come see, Lila called. We made it perfect. The kitchen wasn't just clean, it was organized for kids. Lower cabinets had cups and plates they could reach. Bins had pictures for the littles. It looked like a home, not a museum. This is wonderful, Victoria said, and then meant it. Sophie declared, Mr. Daniel says working together is how families stay strong. Are we strong now, Mom? Silence. This was her moment, not Daniel's. He didn't step in. Victoria knelt so she was eye level. I think we're getting stronger, she said honestly. I have a lot to learn, but I want us to be a real family. I want to play more. I might be bad at it at first. Will you help me? All 5 nodded. Lila launched herself at her. Soon she was buried under 5 giggling girls. From above them, Daniel said warmly, That's what dragon families do. They pile in the den where it's warm. Bella added proudly, We do it every morning. Daddy says it's our charging station. They spent the rest of the morning with Daniel teaching, but it wasn't lectures. He showed Victoria how to set boundaries without yelling, turn chores into connection, listen for feelings, not just words. Let the girls see her be human. At lunch, he even cooked with them, explaining to Charlie why they don't touch a hot stove in terms of love. Your mom's job is to keep you safe. If the stove hurts you, your mom gets sad, so we don't touch it. Charlie actually listened. You're a natural teacher, Victoria said. I'm just a dad who had to learn fast, he said, wiping the counter. When Elena got sick, she made me promise Bella would never think love was complicated. She said love is supposed to be the easiest thing. You show up, you pay attention, you care more about their heart than about looking like a good parent. I've spent 2 years proving I don't need anyone, Victoria whispered. I built a billion-dollar company and lost my family. You haven't lost them yet, Daniel said, nodding toward the girls. They're right there. Still hoping. Kids forgive more than adults. The question is, can you forgive yourself enough to try again? Her phone rang. CFO, work. Her hand moved automatically. Then she looked at her daughters, laughing with Bella, and turned the phone off. Daniel. I don't just need cleaning. I need help. With everything. I need someone to show me how to be the mother they deserve. I'll pay whatever. He held up a hand. This isn't about money. It's about whether it's right for Bella and me. We have a routine. I understand, she said quickly, flushing. But, he finished, smiling. Bella loves being around other kids. And maybe helping your family helps mine too. I'll do it, on one condition. You don't just watch, you do it. You show up even when you want to run back to your office. I want to commit, she said. I'm terrified I'll fail, but I want to. That's all anyone can ask, he said. Fear just means you care. That afternoon, they went outside. For the first time in months, Victoria played in her own backyard. They built an obstacle course. They did relay races. They played emotion charades so the girls could name feelings. By 4 p.m., 6 girls were sprawled on a blanket under the big oak tree, happy, exhausted. Thank you, Victoria said quietly. Not just for today. For seeing past my armor. He watched his daughter's head on his shoulder. When I saw your girls acting out yesterday, I didn't see spoiled kids. I saw my Bella 6 months after her mom died. Angry, pushing, trying to see if I was going to leave too. Your girls aren't misbehaving because they're bad. They're asking, are you going to abandon us too? I didn't abandon them, Victoria protested weakly. I was here. There's a difference between being present and being available, Daniel said. I learned that the hard way. She looked at her girls, actually peaceful, and right there under that oak tree, she emailed her executive team to restructure her schedule. "You're not tanking your company," Daniel said. "You're saving your daughters. Companies survive. Childhood doesn't." When she told the girls, "How would you feel if Mr. Daniel and Bella came every day for a while, not as cleaners, as teachers, to help us be a better family?" Sophie actually cried from relief. "I thought you didn't love us anymore," she sobbed. "I thought we were too much trouble." Victoria hugged all 5 of them and didn't try to stop anyone's tears. "I love you so much it scares me," she said. "I'm sorry I was bad at showing it." Even Daniel had to wipe his eyes. 3 weeks later, the Hale house was unrecognizable. Laughter, routines, no more broken vases. Victoria's board didn't love her new hours, but her COO, Gerald, handled it. The company was fine. What wasn't fine was what happened in the backyard one afternoon. The 6 girls were playing. Victoria and Daniel were talking in the garden. Victoria was just about to ask him something dangerously personal. Had there been anyone since Elena? When Lila screamed, "Mom! Mr. Daniel?" Bella fell. They ran. Bella was on the grass, eyes unfocused. "Bella, baby, can you hear me?" Daniel dropped to his knees. "Daddy, I feel funny," she whispered. "Everything's spinning. Call 911!" Daniel shouted, voice cracking. Victoria was already dialing. The ambulance came in 8 minutes, in which felt like forever. Daniel rode with Bella. Victoria followed with 5 terrified girls. At the hospital, Daniel went back with Bella. Victoria stayed, holding 5 little bodies that kept asking, "Is Bella gonna die?" "No, baby," Victoria said, praying she wasn't lying. "Doctors are helping her." At 11 p.m., Daniel finally came out. He looked wrecked. "She's stable," he said first. "They think it might be something like what Elena had. A heart issue. They need detailed family medical history, especially maternal side," he swallowed. "I don't have it." "What do you mean you don't have it?" Victoria asked. Daniel looked like he'd been carrying this alone for years. "Bella wasn't Elena's biological daughter. We adopted her at 3 days old. Closed adoption. I don't know her birth parents. I can't give the doctors what they need. Then we get the records unsealed," Victoria said instantly. "Whatever it costs, I'll cover it. I can't let you. You saved my family, Daniel. Let me help save yours." He pulled her into a hug in the middle of the hospital hallway. She let him. But when the doctors said they needed maternal history fast and the adoption agency, New Beginnings Adoption Services, Albuquerque, was dragging its feet, something clicked in Victoria's brain. 6 years ago, her ex, Ryan Mitchell, had a younger sister, Sarah, who died right around then. Ryan had once mentioned helping her handle something in New Mexico. Victoria went home, went to the box of Ryan's old papers from the divorce, and dug. There it was, a memorial card, Sarah Mitchell, 9/92/2018, tucked behind it, a birth certificate, baby girl, born September 15, 2018, mother Sarah Mitchell, father unknown, and a note in Ryan's handwriting. New Beginnings handled it. Sarah wanted closed adoption. Never tell Vicky. Victoria's world tilted. Bella, Daniel's Bella, was Ryan's niece, which meant Bella was her daughter's cousin. She went back to the house pale. "Victoria, you okay?" Daniel asked. I know who Bella's birth mother was," she said, voice shaky. "And Daniel." This changes everything. They sat in her kitchen while 6 girls slept upstairs, unaware their lives were about to braid together forever. Victoria told him everything. Ryan's sister Sarah got pregnant. She was embarrassed. Went to New Mexico's New Beginnings. Chose closed adoption, made Ryan promise not to tell anyone, died 3 months later. Not in childbirth, but by suicide from the guilt. Ryan hid it from Victoria because he didn't want the complication. Daniel stood and paced. "Out of every house in this city, I walk into yours? Maybe it wasn't random," Victoria said softly. "You said Elena asked you to help struggling families. Maybe this is where you were supposed to end up." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying Bella is family. Which means I can get you the Mitchell Hale medical records. Ryan's mother documents everything. That's what the doctors need. And Bella deserves to know she has real family." "What about Ryan?" Daniel asked. "He's their father. What if he—" Victoria's expression went hard. "He abandoned his daughters. He doesn't get a vote. But his medical history could save Bella's life, so we'll use it." Over the next week, Victoria got the records. Doctors adjusted the surgical plan for Bella's heart. Surgery was scheduled. Victoria paid everything. The night before the surgery, they sat all 6 girls down. "We found out something important," Victoria said. "Bella's birth mom was part of our family." "That makes Bella your cousin," Lila gasped. "So Bella is our sister now? Like forever?" "If everyone wants that," Victoria said. "I want it," Sophie said immediately. All the others nodded. Bella looked at Victoria, eyes wet. "Does that mean you're my Aunt Victoria?" "If you want me to be," she said, crying now. "And they're really my cousins?" Bella asked Daniel. "Really, truly," he said, voice thick. Bella smiled that sunshine smile. "I always wanted a big family. Daddy said Mommy Elena wanted that too." The girls started planning room arrangements like it was already done. Later, with the house quiet, Victoria and Daniel stood in the kitchen with coffee. "So, what happens now?" he asked. Victoria met his eyes. "Now we stop pretending you're just helping my family. Now we admit maybe we're building one." "Victoria," he started. "I love you," she said, simple and brave. "I've been falling in love with you for weeks. I know it's complicated. I know you still love Elena. I'm not trying to replace her. I just don't want to waste time pretending this isn't real." Daniel's eyes filled. "Before she died," he said slowly, "Elena told me, if you ever find someone who loves Bella like you do, and who makes your family bigger instead of smaller, let yourself be happy." He closed the distance, cupped Victoria's face. "I found you," he whispered. "You didn't try to replace anyone. You just added more love." When he kissed her, it felt like 2 broken houses finally clicking together. After Bella's surgery was a success, she recovered surrounded by 5 bossy, overprotective cousins turned sisters who refused to leave her room. 6 months later, Daniel and Bella moved into the Hale mansion, not as employees, as family. A year later, in the same garden where Bella had collapsed, Daniel Morales and Victoria, Hale got married. 6 flower girls walked down the aisle. There wasn't a dry eye. Victoria never figured out if it was chance or fate that brought a widowed cleaning man to her door the exact day she'd finally admit she couldn't do motherhood alone. But it didn't matter. What mattered was this. Single dad janitor with kind eyes walked into a billionaire's broken house and did what 17 nannies couldn't. He saw 5 lonely girls, a scared mother, and chose to show up. He taught them that love isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up even when it's hard. It's about choosing connection over control. It's about breathing fire when you have to, and sheltering when someone needs it more. And sometimes the family you need finds you, even if it takes a shattered vase, 17 failed nannies, a closed adoption secret, and one impossible coincidence to make it happen.